mind. And in particular, visualization. Now we talked about hypnosis as being a tool for healing, and self-hypnosis. Visualization is a form of self-hypnosis. And it is a tool that is and can be used for healing. You provide positive pictures. That's the creative imagery that you access with your mind. You create self-suggestions, and you can use visualizations that can change emotions. And when you change those emotions, those have a physical effect on the body. So, the belief system that we are involved in is based on the accumulation of verbal and nonverbal suggestions that have been gathered throughout our life experience. We have these patterns of repetition, reward and punishment that starts from the time we're very young, and this helps us learn to create our own perception of reality. So we therefore become what we think. So, if we use this process to change our minds, to change our perceptions of reality, to change our perceptions of health and illness, we allow ourselves to heal. And even healing in and of itself is an illusion, because we're not sick. We're only creating that experience. We are total health. We are complete and undamaged. But we create this experience of maybe feeling unwell, feeling weak, feeling ill, and we also create the experience of healing that. So in healing, repetitive use of positive visualization allows access to the mind-body connection. This lets the mind and body work together to foster the healing process of the body on a physical level. So what is the mind-body connection, and how does it work? So when you have an emotion, that generates a feeling that turns into a physical sensation, which you then create a story around. For example, you're watching a horror movie and you feel frightened and you get a chill up your spine. In this case, you're getting a negative suggestion through your sensory perception that produced an emotion of fear, which turned into the physical sensation of chills on your up your spine. Visualization uses positive images to produce positive emotions that manifest into positive physical sensations in the body. Now, I would add that this emotion that you were experiencing was something that came out of an illusion, right? You're watching a horror movie. It's not real. It's just images on a screen. But you created a reality around that, which produced that emotion. And if you go deeper into that emotion, by the way, you recognize that it's connected to a greater energy. It's like a sea from which all emotions come from. They can bubble up and take on an aspect of something, or give you a feeling that you uh, call fear, or that you call joy, or that you call happiness, but they're all the same energy. So visualization, using the mind to use that energy, can give you an amazing power. You just disconnect from uh, the story, the negative, positive idea. And that's where I sort of back away from some of the language where they talk about positive emotions versus negative emotions. There aren't either. There's just this energy, and we, kind of classify it or create a story about that's good and that's bad, but they really, at their essence, are the same thing. Anyway, not to get too confusing. Let me continue on with this. Um, so, do our thoughts have an effect on healing? Well, many people say they do. Uh, can what we think actually have an effect on healing? Bodies do react to the thoughts you make. Our psychological emotional state affects the endocrine system. For example, the emotion of fear is related to adrenaline. If no feeling of fear exists, there is no adrenaline, and the same applies in reverse. No adrenaline, no fear. They work in relationship to each other. Wherever a thought goes, there is a body chemical reaction. The hypothalamus, the emotional center of the brain, transforms emotions into physical response. The receptor of the neuropeptides, the hypothalamus, also controls the body's appetite, blood sugar levels, body temperature, adrenal and pituitary glands, heart, lung, digestive, and circulatory systems. Neuropeptides, the chemical messengers, hormones, carry emotions back and forth between the mind and body. They link perception in the brain to the body via organs, hormones, and cellular activity. Neuropeptides influence every major section of the immune system, so the body and mind do work together as one unit. And this is coming just from a scientific perspective. The brain is a highly efficient system that is connected to every cell in your body by billions of connections. It is divided into two sides: the left, logical side. So left brain is, logic, rational thought. Left brain is the side of the brain that codes and defines and categorizes. It tells you this is who you are, this is what your job is, this is what your name is, this is what your telephone number is, this is, all of that. All of that stuff is ruled by the left brain. The right brain is the creative side, the imaginative, intuitive side. That's the side where just emotions and creativity and feeling and things that may not be in logical, linear order appear. So day-to-day circumstances, they're usually met in a logical left brain mode. But by yielding to the right side, the creative side of the brain, we can restore balance in the brain. And this allows the mind-body connection to achieve what you want. The right side of your brain automatically steers you to your goal. It totally accepts what you want to accomplish without giving an opinion or judgment, and then acts upon it. That's why visualization targets the right creative side of the brain and not the left logical side. So positive thought is essential to producing positive results. Negative thoughts and emotions lower the immune system, while positive thoughts and emotions actually boost the immune system. To maximize success of visualization as a support to the healing process, here are some suggestions. define your specific intention. So visualization puts your intention of what you want to work. The more specific the intention, the more specific the results. Remember, whatever you believe is what your body will do. So when you are thinking of your intention, make sure it is clear, specific, achievable. You feel, know, and trust it is being accomplished. Take responsibility. Trying to do visualization without taking responsibility will prove to be a futile experience. To accomplish what you want, you must take action and responsibility. Visualization usually takes about 6 weeks to work. It is done once in the morning and before bedtime. Some people do see or feel results the very first time, but remember, everyone's body and mind are different. So is the way they process information. So have patience. Okay. So these things that I've been explaining to you, they are found in an article from thoughtco.com on mind and the healing power of the mind and visualization. Some of these are really good ideas, but I would caution you not to take some of this too seriously. Well, not seriously, but you can do visualization anytime, any way you want. It doesn't have to be done before bedtime and in the morning. If you don't want to do it in the morning, if you find time during the day, those are probably the easiest times to do visualization, but it doesn't have to be that way. And as for the specificity of your intention, you have to be careful about that. Because in defining your intent, if you're very specific, what you are being specific about may not be what you actually need. So what you want to do is you can focus on the intention of freedom from that pain. You can imagine being free of that pain. You can visualize that. But to try to be specific to the exact way that the pain is dealt with, that actually becomes like a block to what you're trying to do. So anyway, we need to move on here. But certainly the power of the mind through visualization is one way that you can heal. Another way of healing that involves the mind, and we'll talk more about, I think we'll probably get back to that article a little bit later, but I want to talk about naturopathic medicine. And that's the philosophy that uses the healing power of nature and your natural healing power, which includes your mind. The earliest doctors and healers use herbs and foods and body work and fasting, and this takes these ancient tools and kind of brings them into the modern day world. There's a certification program. It's a 4-year graduate level program at naturopathic medical schools. There are several. And the study itself, those practitioners who earn this certification, includes basic sciences, the same